welcome back, and today I wanted to give you guys another tutorial. A lot of you guys have actually been commenting on one of my YouTube shorts where I showed you guys how I made a simple shrug or like bolero type of top, and I didn't give in-depth details onto how I actually made the whole thing. So today that's what I'm going to be doing for you all. I will go ahead and show you guys everything that I use, and I will try to explain everything as best as I can so that you guys can make a top that fits you. Yeah, let's get started. Alright, so the yarn that I will be using is this one by Daiso, and I don't know how many of these I will actually be needing, but I did buy 9 of these just in case if I need more or less. So I'll go ahead and tell you guys exactly how many skeins of these tiny little yarn balls I actually used. And for the crochet hook, I am actually going to be using a 6mm crochet hook, and don't laugh at me, but I lost my regular hook and all I can find is this Tunisian crochet hook, so that's what we're using. Alright, so the first thing that we'll be doing is just starting with a regular slip knot, and we will be doing a countless number of chains, and basically just keep making chains until you reach the length of from one side of your chest to the other, so like across the front of your body. Alright guys, so I finished my chains, and just to give you guys an approximation of how mine is turning out, I chained a total of 54. And just so you guys can see, I basically measured from underneath my armpit area and all the way to the other side of my armpit area. And basically this is how the front of the top is gonna go. It's gonna go kind of over your bust, from side to side. And when you're doing this, don't over stretch it the entire thing. You kind of want to fit it a little loosely over the top of you. So just the way that I am doing it right now. And it makes it a little easier if you end your stitches with an even number. So it'll just make things, or the pattern itself, work out a little easier. Let's move on to step number 2. Okay, so now that we're going to start the actual shrug itself, we're going to be starting on the front piece only. So after your last stitch, go ahead and chain 2 more, and this chain 2 will basically count as your first double crochet for the pattern. And basically the whole pattern will be worked as double crochets. And now chain another one, and this next chain counts for the skipped chain that we are going to be skipping from your base. So again, I have 1, 2, 3 that I made extra, and then this is the chain that we last left off, so my 54th chain, and I will be skipping the next chain and then double crocheting into the next. So right here, insert, and then yarn over and make your double crochet. So now that we have our double crochet, you can kind of see where this is getting squared off. And again, after that, you're just going to chain 1, skip a chain, and double crochet into the next stitch. So right here, yarn over and make your double crochet. And you are literally going to finish the rest of this row by chaining 1, skipping a stitch, and double crocheting into the next one for the entire row. Alright guys, so I have completed the entire first row, and it should be looking something like this. You should have little windows, and this is basically creating your mesh pattern. And so to start the second row, literally just chain 2, and the chain 2 will always count as your first double crochet for the row, and then chain 1 more, so a total of chain 3, and then double crochet into our next double crochet, so this one right here. There we go. And then chain 1, and then keep double crocheting into the top of the previous double crochet from the previous row. And you will literally keep doing this all the way until you have reached the length that you want the top to be from your front panel. So I'll go ahead and get back to you guys once I finished my front panel, and I'll show you guys how many rows it is so you guys can get more of a guess of how many rows you guys can make for yours. Alright guys, so I have just finished the front panel. So I completed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows total. And I actually started my 8th row up here that you can see. And I actually divided I divided my front panel by half. So I counted 14 double crochets going from right to left, and then another 14 going from left to right. And at 14 double crochets, I placed a place marker right here, and then the 14 from left to right is actually right here. So if it doesn't meet in the actual middle, it's okay to have one right here and then one right here. Alright, so now I am going to explain to you how I'm going to be starting the shoulders. So like I said, I started my 8th row up here. I just have 1, 2 double crochets left, and this is where the decrease is going to start, so that way you can have like a V neck shape. And I'm going to go ahead, and I have already chained 1 after this double crochet, so I'm going to start the next double crochet. And then before I close up the double crochet for the last like yarn over and pull through, I'm going to yarn over and insert my hook into the 14th double crochet that I counted. Alright, so now we're going to yarn over, and instead of bringing through 2 only, I'm going to bring through all 4 loops on my hook. So like that. And this is going to start making my decreases for the row. And then when we start our next row, simply chain 2, and then so chain 3, turn your work, and then begin double crocheting as usual, like we have been doing in the rest of the pattern. And then chain 1, double crochet into the next one, and you're going to go ahead and finish this row, and then begin the next row like usual. So on the 10th row, when you come back to decrease again, you're going to bring through 2 loops on this double crochet, and then on this double crochet you are going to bring through all 4 loops. That way you can decrease these 2, and eventually you will have a V-neck pattern going to finish one side of your shoulder. Alright, so here I am, and I am getting close to finishing my 10th row, and like I said, at the end of this side it's going to start and end like usual by chaining 2, and then, by chaining 3. And then on this end we have our decreasing side. So here is the decrease from the first row, and then here is the chain 3 from that row, So again, we have our last 2 chains or last 2 double crochets from the row, and I already chained 1 from my previous double crochet, and now I'm going to insert into the first double crochet and yarn over and only pull through 2, yarn over and go into the last double crochet, yarn over and then pull through all 4 loops. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then to start the next row, chain 3, turn, and go into the next stitch. So double crochet into this one, chain 1, and then repeat with a double crochet. Alright guys, so I have completed my one side of the shoulder, and just to show you guys, so basically we finished with 7 rows and I ended up with 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So the whole front panel from bottom to top is 13 rows total, and basically what we did on this side for this shoulder, we are going to repeat on this side of the front panel. And basically we are going to start off on this edge, and this edge you are just going to attach your yarn, chain 3, and continue the double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1 like normal. And then once we get to the 14th double crochet, which is right here, we're going to start our decreases exactly how we did on this side. And once you're finished with your 13th row, you should end on this side of your panel. So if you start right here, it should be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Alright, and once you're done with your 13th row on this side, you are basically going to repeat this all over again for your back panel. And your back panel, I will show you guys how to connect your back panel to your front panel as you work on it. Alright guys, so I have completed my back panel, and then here's my front panel. And I actually have already done the sleeve and the shoulder connection on one side, but I will show you how I did it on this side. So as soon as you're done with your back panel, go ahead and immediately start a row 14, and row 14 will go ahead and connect the front panel and the back panel's shoulder area. So when you are doing your back panel, don't cut and tie off after your 13th row. Alright, so here I have my 13th row, and I have not cut and tied off. Alright, so before I go into the corner stitch of the front panel, I'm actually going to chain 2 as if I was starting a regular 14th row. So now I can go ahead and insert into the corner of the front panel, bring up my yarn through like it was a slip stitch. Okay, so now that we have a slip stitch on the corner of the front panel, you're just going to go around where we chained 1 and make a single crochet. So go into the chain space, yarn over, and single crochet 1, and then into the double crochet of the front panel, insert your hook, yarn over, and then insert your hook into the back panel's next double crochet, yarn over and bring through a loop, yarn over and come through 2 loops, yarn over, and you're gonna come through all the rest of the loops on your hook. And this will essentially create a 14th row that'll kind of seamlessly connect both the front panel and the back panel. So again, into the front panel, you're going to, into the chain space of the front panel, you're going to single crochet 1, and then insert your hook into the double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook into the next double crochet of the back panel, yarn over, and then yarn over, bring through 2, yarn over, bring through all of the loops, all 3 loops on your hook. So like this. And then you're going to go ahead and continue that for the entire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 double crochets that we have here. Alright, so now your piece should be looking something like this with your shoulder area connected, and once you're done connecting this shoulder, you can go ahead and start the other side, the other side's shoulder with a decrease, and once you get to the top of the 13th row, go ahead and start the 14th row to connect to the shoulder on the other side. So I'll go ahead and show you guys how I do the sleeves next. And to do the sleeves, I actually go into the corner of the very first chain that we did to start the entire project. So you take both corners right here and right here. Okay, so like this. So you can see here's where our shoulder is, and then here's the corner area. And I'm simply going to bring my yarn through those corner stitches. Begin by chaining 3. Okay, so now basically we will be working in rows all around the entire armhole, and we're just going to keep making new rows, new rows, new rows until we have the length of our sleeve. So now we are going to be working into the back piece, and into the very first row, the corner of this first row, you're going to make a double crochet, and then chain 1, and basically it's going to follow the same pattern from the rest of the sleeve, the panels. So double crochet into this next corner right here. Hopefully you guys can see it well, but into every single corner is where we will be double crocheting, and then chain 1. So just like that, and then you will double crochet chain 1 all the way around the armhole, and once you get back to the beginning where we first started, you're simply just going to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 that we did in the beginning, and I'll go ahead and show you. Alright guys, so here I have done my last double crochet in chain 1, and I am back to the beginning. So now that I am back in the beginning, into the chain 3 right here, I am going to insert just into the chain space and yarn over, and then just slip stitch. So that will have completed the first row for the arm. And now to begin the next row, you just simply chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then start double crocheting, and then chain 1 all around all over again until you have the length for the arm, the sleeve that you would like. Okay, and then For this sleeve, just to give you guys an approximation, I ended up doing 29 rows of the double crochet and chain 1 to get my arm length, but this arm length, the sleeve comes up to right about here, more or less. So if you guys want it longer or shorter, go ahead and customize that to your own arm length. So I'll go ahead and show you guys what the piece looks like completed, and here it is. So here's the mesh top completed, and I ended up loving how this one came out specifically, and I think I love it because I ended up using a chunky yarn instead of just regular yarn that just uses like your typical 5mm crochet hook. So if you are using chunky yarn, then it would be best to kind of gauge your stitches or the amount of chains you use based off of how I made mine. But if you used something thinner, then go ahead and just add more chains and so on and so forth. But I hope everyone enjoyed this tutorial. I hope everyone was able to follow it pretty well through. If you have any questions regarding the tutorial, or if you're stuck on any part of the tutorial, go ahead and let me know down in the comments, and I will try to help you out through this pattern as best as possible. But with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed, and make sure to like and comment on this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!